Andy, yeah, I had.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the Monday, May 6, 2024 meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Welcome, everybody. Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Here.
Nargi. Here. Reynolds.
Here.
Weiss.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Allersmeyer.
Here.
Williamson.
Here.
Downing.
Here.
Snyder.
Here.
Got a quorum present.
Thank you. First order on the agenda item, we need to have a public meeting, so I'd entertain a motion to suspend our regular meeting.
So moved.
Second? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. This is ordinance 2024-17. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance vacating a portion of Maiden Lane in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Is there anybody from the public who would like to comment on this ordinance, 2024-17? Any public comment? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to reconvene our meeting.
So moved.
And a second. Motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Moving on to the approval of meeting minutes. Mr. Reynolds.
I move to hear the minutes of April 1st, 2024.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the meeting minutes? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Presentation and disposal of claims, there are none. Presentation of petitions and communications, there are none. Reports on city offices on file in the city's clerk's office, Renew Department monthly March, Waterworks Department March, Fleet Maintenance monthly March.
Thank you. I would encourage any and everybody who is interested, these publications are available on our website. You're more than encouraged to check those out at your earlier convenience and/or visit the clerk if you would like to see that in the office. So, all right, moving on for ordinances for second reading.
Ordinance 2024-16, an ordinance to amend ordinance 2023-46, an ordinance fixing the salaries of the appointed officers and employees of the city of Lafayette, Indiana for the year 2024, excluding the sworn protective occupation and law enforcement members of the police and fire departments.
Mr. Brown.
Mr. President, I move that we hear and approve ordinance 2024-16 on second reading.
Second.
Motion and a second.
All right, very good. We are here for second reading this month for some adjustments to our salary ordinance. There are a variety of things that are taking place in this ordinance. The main one is it does add 2 new positions within the legal department, including a staff attorney and an administrative assistant position. It makes changes with regard to the IDAX program within the police department. It consolidates some duties from the prior IDAX coordinator with the chief communications technician, which will now just be a communications supervisor, and then it does add a second IDAX technician within that department as well. And then the final major change is it does add a new position of the climate and resilience manager within the economic development department. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the council? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi. Aye. Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-17.
An ordinance vacation a portion of Main Lane in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Ms. Williamson.
I move we hear and approve ordinance 2024-17.
Second.
Motion and a second.
Yes, so we are here on second reading for this petition to vacate what is referred to as Maiden Lane. This is unimproved right-of-way that existed along the old railroad corridor that runs in between 3rd and 5th Street that was recently sold to Corridor Place to be redeveloped into housing. As part of the process, it was discovered we missed vacating this 40-strip right-of-way as part of the process, so we are requesting that that strip be vacated so the project can move ahead.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi. Aye. Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-18. Mr. Clinker.
I move we hear ordinance 2024-18 on first reading.
Second?
Thank you.
Can I read this in? Let me read it in. That's okay. No, it's fine.
Ahead of myself.
You're okay. An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from GB to PDMX.
Thank you.
Same motion.
Got it.
Same.
Got it.
Motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion on this particular ordinance?
Is the petitioner here? Yeah. So-
Ryan Munden with RTS Law, here on behalf of the petitioner Vita Investment Holdings LLC. This project consists of approximately 26 acres on the south side of 38 at Park East Boulevard. We believe this project will be a great addition to a part of the city that's already seeing exciting growth and development. This will be an age-restricted 55 and older multifamily apartment development. Project will consist of 7 single-story duplex buildings, 11 single-story quadplex buildings, as well as 1 4-story apartment building. The main apartment building will include a 1,400 square foot cafe. And there's also 1 outlot that is reserved for commercial use. And the planned development has written into it that the outlots, when they're developed in the future, will be subject to GB standards, with the exception of certain GP uses that we have specifically excluded. Some of the amenities for the community include pickleball courts, bocce ball courts, and walking trails. The walking trails connect to the Park East Trail System, which leads to the YMCA at McCarty Lane. There will be up to 278 beds with 252 parking spaces. Vita is experienced in this type of development. They're excited to bringing this to our market. Area Plan Commission voted unanimously to recommend approval, and we would request your approval this evening. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the council to the petitioner?
What were some of the exceptions you had in your PD for GB?
The standard adult entertainment uses, as well as self-storage warehouses, automobile dealers, and gas stations, tobacco stores, crematories, automotive repair shops, towing services, billboards. So,
Great, thank you.
Any more questions?
That's pretty close to NB then, probably, at that point, right?
That's for sure. Any comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Clinker?
Aye.
Nargi? Aye. Reynolds?
Aye.
Weiss?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downey?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Very good. Moving on to ordinance 2024-19. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from I-3 to GB.
Mr. Reynolds.
Move to hear ordinance 2024-19 on first reading.
Second.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Is the petitioner here and/or? There we are.
Good evening, Kevin Riley with RTS Law, 250 Main Street in Lafayette, representing the petitioner. We are seeking a rezone of property at the corner of Veterans Memorial and Haggerty Lane from I-3 to GB. Purpose of the subdivision, or the rezone, is to construct a convenience store and gas station on a portion of this site. Just to be clear, we're not using the plan is not to use the entire 15 acres for a gas station or a convenience store. Rather, they plan to use about 4 acres for those purposes. They also plan to build a 125,000 square foot warehouse building with some office space, approximately 20,000 square feet in office space on the site as well. So they would have to subdivide the property. We have submitted or agreed to, or have submitted a commitment with this request that restricts or prohibits certain uses. Similar to the adult uses that list tobacco stores and stands, with the exception of tobacco that would be sold as part of the convenience store business. crematory, automotive repair shops, and similar types of uses. So we have committed to those uses not being at this site. APC staff recommended approval. We received unanimous recommendation for approval from Area Plan Board last month, and we are requesting your approval. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you.
Riley?
Yes.
Just a side question, actually. Tobacco stands and stores, does that include vaping establishments?
Yeah, I believe that would include that,
Okay,
yes.
so what would be sold in the convenience store would be actually just,
Well, those products could be sold in the convenience store. You wouldn't have a standalone
Okay.
tobacco store.
okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the council? All right, any comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-20. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from NB to GB.
Mr. Brown.
Mr. President, I move that we hear and approve ordinance 2024-20 on first reading.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is the petitioner here? Mr. Riley.
Yes, again, Kevin Riley with RTS Law, representing the petitioner. We are seeking to rezone the property at 140 Frontage Road from NB to GB. This is the strip center that's located just east of Cracker Barrel off of State Street 26. The purpose of the rezone is to accommodate a new tenant. The new tenant plans to operate an automobile, or excuse me, a showroom floor for higher-end automobiles. These will be custom-made cars. They will be made elsewhere but brought on to the site and sold. Tenant's business plan may include being able to make minor modifications to those vehicles. That particular use is not permitted in an NB zone. It is also not permitted in a highway business zone, which there is quite a bit of highway business in that area, so that's one of the reasons that we didn't rezone to HB. We did rezone to GB because it's permitted there. I would note that the other tenants of the building, current tenants, also have permitted uses in GB, so we are not impacting those tenants and their ability to continue to operate there. There's also GB in the area, so we think it's appropriate for this site. Area Plan staff recommended approval, and we received a unanimous vote from Area Plan last month in favor of this request, so request your approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the council?
I have a question. What kind of cars, and can we come see them?
You can come see them. I'm not a car guy, but from what I could understand, it's something I can't afford. Yeah. So.
They're going to be real nice cars, then, aren't they?
Mr. Riley?
Yes, Kevin. Yes.
At one time, we asked, are El Rodeo and the other big leagues, are they still all on board? No?
Right. As far as I know, we've not heard any complaints from them.
Okay.
And again, this is going to bring in another tenant to a vacant space, so
Yeah.
you're adding traffic, hopefully.
And it said the cars will be parked inside, they won't be parked outside?
Cars will be parked outside from time to time, but they
time to
won't be
time.
left out overnight because of the value of these
Yes.
cars. So they may be out there to kind of generate interest, but the
Right.
idea is not to, it's not going to be like a car lot where
Right,
they
they-
have the cars
okay.
outside the whole time.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you. Very good. Any more comments or questions? Comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
All right, thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-21. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from R1 to NB.
Ms. Williamson.
I move for passage of ordinance 2024-21 on first reading.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there a petitioner here who would like to discuss this rezone?
Yes, hi there. I'm Alicio Del Real. I own the property. I've owned it for the last 7 or 8 years. So my wife's plan is to start her own business. We do own this property on 4412 McCarty Lane. So I have experience with small business, and I want to support her in her efforts to do the beauty salon, and she's been in business for a long time too, so. But yeah, we did get approval from the Tippecanoe County, so here we are. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the council? Any comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-22, Madam Clerk.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a Jefferson 1012, 1014 North Street Conservation District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Mr. Clinker.
Move we hear ordinance 2024-22 on first reading.
Second.
Thank you. Yes, sir, Mr.
Good evening, John Collier here from the Economic Development Office, and I have 6 ordinances for you tonight. 5 conservation districts and 1 local historic district, and hopefully we can get through them very quickly. I'm going to forego the performance I had planned for each one, but, and I rehearsed a lot of those too. Okay, so the first is for 1012, 1014 North Street for a conservation district. Again, all of these were initiated by the property owners themselves, so they're all willing participants. This is an American 4-square duplex. It's built in about 1910. It's rated as contributing, and the Historic Preservation Commission reviewed and recommended its designation as a conservation district at its February 26th commission meeting. So we would request your approval at this first reading. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
All right, thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-23.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a Jefferson 1018 North Street Conservation District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Mr. Reynolds.
Move to hear ordinance 2024-23.
Ms. Session Weiss.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Collier. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Good
back
seeing you
again. This is the adjacent property to the one that you just saw or heard. And this is an Italianate style home that was built in 1869. It's rated as notable. And again, the Historic Preservation Commission recommended its designation as a conservation district. That's February 26th meeting, and would appreciate your support for this as well.
And just for a point of clarification, this is the homeowner's petition to have this
Correct.
accomplished. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to add that point. Any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-24.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a local hilltop 1008 Cassuth Street Historic District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Mr. Brown.
Mr. President, I move that we hear and approve ordinance 2024-24.
Second.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Mr. Collier.
All right, so this one is a bungalow built in about 1915. It's listed as contributing. This is the one local historic district designation. So this comes with all the limitations that come with full local designation versus the conservation districts, which we only have say on 3 things: demolition, moving, or an addition. Okay? So the property owner also has willingly submitted this petition, and the commission reviewed this at its, I believe that was also at the February meeting, and would request your support for that meeting, or for this petition as well.
All right, very good. Any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the public? Not seeing any. Madam Clerk, conduct a roll, please.
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-25.
An
Ms.
amendment to ordinance number 2010-11 establishing a Jefferson 1003 Elizabeth Street Conservation District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Ms. Williamson.
I move we hear and approve ordinance 2024-25 on first reading.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Collier.
Okay, so this is for another conservation district at 1003 Elizabeth. It's a vernacular style with original porches. It's rated as contributing. It was built in 1901, and the Historic Preservation Commission reviewed and recommended its designation as a conservation district at its April 29th meeting, and would appreciate your support for this as well.
Thank you, sir. Is there any comments or questions from the council? Any comments or questions from the public? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
All right, thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-26.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11, establishing a Jefferson 1005 Elizabeth Street Conservation District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Mr. Clinker.
Move we hear ordinance 2024-26 on first reading.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Collier.
Okay, this is 1005 Elizabeth Street Conservation District. The architectural style is bungalow. It was built in 1901. It's rated as contributing, and the commission reviewed and recommended its designation at its April 29th meeting as well, and would, of course, appreciate your support.
Any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the audience? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you
Blinker.
conduct a roll?
Sorry. Blinker. Sorry. Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
All right, thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2024-27.
An amendment to ordinance number 2010-11, establishing a Jefferson 1008 Elizabeth Street Conservation District in the city of Lafayette, Indiana.
Mr. Reynolds.
Move to hear ordinance 2024-27.
Ms. Weist.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Collier.
Okay, this is a vernacular style home built in about 1890 with an addition that was added in 1930. It's rated as contributing. It was recommended as a conservation district by the commission at its April 29th meeting, and they would respectfully request your support for this also.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the council?
Just,
Yes.
I just, nothing specifically about this, but it just occurred to me, is there any case where a petitioner would come to you and ask to be in this district where the commissioner would say no?
It's possible, but
Really?
not likely, because keep in mind that the whole goal of a conservation district or a local district is to maintain the integrity of the historic district. And so if there is something there now that's inappropriate, if we can get it in a local district, that means that the commission would have a say on what went in there in the future, and to make sure that whatever's there at the time won't get worse than what it is now.
Okay. I just think that clarification is important for people to understand, and I wanted to clarify it in my
Sure.
mind too, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Any more comments or questions? Any comments or questions from the audience? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. It was a marathon.
Yeah, well, yeah.
All right, moving on to,
His performance was excellent at the historic preservation, too.
it'll be a hard man to replace when he retires, that's for sure. Moving on to hear ordinance 2024-28.
An ordinance established in Lafayette downtown designated outdoor refreshment area.
Mr. Brown.
Mr. President, I move that we hear and approve ordinance 2024-28 on first reading.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. Is the,
Yep,
excuse me.
this is me.
Counselor?
So this is a very exciting new addition to the city of Lafayette. This ordinance will establish our first downtown designated outdoor refreshment area. This is a possibility the state legislature gave us during the 2023 legislative session, where we can designate up to 7 what are called DORAs, outdoor refreshment areas that will allow for the carry-out alcoholic beverages within that area. So the city, this was brought to us by some of the owners of East End and Ripplin Company, and we are looking to explore this idea in the block of 10th to 11th Street on Main Street, and then including that city-owned little triangular portion that is at the southeast corner of those intersections. I think some of us call it the bus depot. You know, it's had different names. It's an underutilized space, and so including in this DORA will have the ability to really kind of activate that space. So what this does is it allows individuals to purchase drinks from any of the participating businesses and carry them out within just the designation of the DORA. So you've got 10th to 11th Street. It's not freedom to walk around all around downtown or anything like that. But it's another opportunity for us to engage the community, have some more socialization, you know, things like that. There are restrictions on it. For example, right now, the DORA is only going to be operational for a Thursday through Sunday, 5 to 10, a Thursday and Sunday, and then 5 to 11 on Friday and Saturday. There will be signage posted at the entrance and exits of the DORA to make sure that it is clear you cannot bring your drinks outside of that area. And I'm actually going to ask Pat Jarpeau, who is one of the members of the restaurant groups up there, to come up and explain why he brought this to the city.
Good evening, I'm Pat Jarbeau. I'm an engineer with T-Bird Design Services at 105 North 10th Street. I'm also partner with T-Bird and also partner with Ripple and Company at 1007 Main Street. So the reason why this showed up as a DORA for Lafayette actually was a family trip to Grand Haven, a beach town on Lake Michigan. They operate as social districts up there, and what we realized is in lieu of a festival weekend, they have an outdoor refreshment area of sorts, which operates somewhat like a festival. It's really reminds me of an evening farmer's market, the way they operate it, except you've got beer and wine. It was a social gathering. There was a lot of people and a lot going on. And I think that here in this spot specifically is a perfect spot for the city of Lafayette to explore what that can do for the city. We were instrumental in working with Scott Traskus and getting East End open, and one of those desires is outdoor seating. And thank you to the city, provided what we called at the time a parklet, moved the sidewalk out to allow for outdoor seating into a couple parking spaces. Worked wonderfully. Ripple comes along, and we knew we wanted to incorporate outdoor storefronts or an open storefront with open second floor. Works perfectly. The Cellar Wine Bistro with their outdoor seating works perfectly. I think this DORA is just the next phase of our neighborhood partnership with the city. DORA is really a tool to promote space for people to be. It is a destination location. It's the opportunity for the next step of the growth of downtown. We're really looking forward to bringing additional quality of life, businesses, guests, and neighbors to downtown. So with that, entertain any questions, and thank you very much.
And just for a point of clarification, you did discuss this with all of your neighbors on Main Street within the 10th and 11th block, or had the opportunity to discuss it with them?
We invited everyone who'd be able to participate in this to a neighborhood meeting. And we did have some discussion there. It was a small gathering, not everybody attended, but we intend to keep an open door with everybody. My profession is an engineer. We fix things, we keep things moving, and we figure out ways to fill the gaps and get the job done. So we intend to take that exact approach to this process too. So thank you, everybody, for listening. Yes?
So you, Pat, your servers will not go over there. They can just purchase at your store and then sit over there.
Thank you. I think the intent of the law is that right now we've seen operate as you would purchase with a specific cup designated as a DORA area cup that must stay in that area, and then the patrons are able to leave that establishment to go to the streets and potentially even go into other businesses that would choose to allow them. For example, you could get your hair cut with a beer on the corner down there. Yes, well, you guys could anyway. Mine's too short. I know that's funny because I drink wine, right? So anyway, so yeah, there's some opportunity there. Like I said, as engineers, we look at this as a continuing process. Hopefully we're back in a year learning how this goes and what else we can do. Potentially for expansion of the DORA, which I think is allowed to be able to come back and propose different timelines, how we use the area. So we're excited about the opportunity, and we're looking for a place to keep the neighborhood moving in the direction it's been going the last couple decades, so.
And then the clean, like if someone were to leave their cups around in the trash bins, who's going to empty that? And who has liability on the property if someone were to be hurt? Maybe I should ask the city attorney that.
You mean, well, in terms of, I mean, just
Like at the
trash
end of
and
the
and
night,
debris
if
like that. I mean,
yeah,
we're
if someone
gonna,
leaves their
you
wine
know,
glass or-
right. I mean, there's going to be a vested interest of everyone that's up there to make sure that the area remains clean and things like that. We will make sure that we have appropriate trash receptacles out there, and, you know, in the area will be emptied just like we do all of our other trash cans after a
that'll be
weekend
the
downtown.
city's.
Yeah, so that'll be, just like we empty.
The city will take care of the trash.
Yeah.
Right.
We've got
Gotcha.
downtown trash down to a science.
Sure.
We're fine.
And
And the liability is
This
same
is
as.
also, this is also governed under the Wabash liquor permits, is that correct?
So this is something different. So most of our downtown business owners do have riverfront district permits. That's their method to be able to get the permits that they operate under downtown. But this is a totally separate
Okay.
distinction. You have to already have a permit, either a riverfront district or just a typical three-way
Sure.
permit in order to be what's called a designated permittee
Okay.
under that. So this is just an extra level. Kind of think of it as, in some businesses have a extra carryout permit as part of their license where they can sell for carryout. This is just kind of a supplemental permit exception for these businesses to be able to participate in the DORA.
All right, thank you.
Sir, you indicated that these are special cups that, in other words, if
Correct.
somebody wants to go outside, they have to have this special,
Correct.
and that I'm assuming is non-breakable types of cups.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes, so
Which-
it's,
which is
it's
gonna
exactly,
cut-
I think in the law, listed as
Yes.
non-breakable.
Yeah, which is going to cut down on any kind of a liability issue of somebody using it as a weapon or something like that.
Correct. I think the plan right now and what we've seen in the past are just clear plastic cups. They need to hold a sticker that actually designates it as being purchased by someone who has the ability to sell that in there. And then also those cups, of course, can't leave that area. So we've seen, I brought up the Michigan example. I've been to a couple places up in Michigan where this operates well. We're vested in the neighborhood. If trash is an issue, we are going to manage that, and with partners with the city, I appreciate that. We're going to operate restaurants where trash is not going to be accumulated out there. So now, I can't speak for the rest of the areas that this go into, but we're going to make sure everything is tidy. It's not worth messing it up, what we've got going right now for something that could potentially, such as trash.
Yeah.
Where I came from before I moved back here, they had a lot of these areas, and they were very popular with people. They like to go and meet their neighbors and so forth there and talk.
I
and-
can't wait. Yeah, I can't. That's what it feels like it could be. So we hope this is a tool to promote that, a destination location, neighbors, businesses, guests. I mean, it's my favorite thing to bring family from out of town to a restaurant, show them this spot. We're pretty proud of it. So
And you're also limiting the amount of liquor that are in each of those things.
I think
Right,
that's by
that
code
is-
as well.
Yeah, that is
Which
state
is-
law. The state law requires how much, like, you can carry out a limit of 2 drinks, you know, for a
Right.
person. It's not like you can order 6 of them for your buddies and then, you know, bring them all out and all that. So that is part of the state law. And then also, just to expand on one of the questions and what Pat said, we are establishing the store just in the 1 block radius with the modified hours. The city council is at any time able to make changes to that. If we either want to expand the hours, we want to expand the district, or the vice versa. If we find reasons that we need to minimize the impact, that's completely within the council's ability to do in the future.
Is this gonna be a street sign,
Are these going to be around?
street sign?
So those are the signage, yes. So for example, that is going to be the signage that's required to be posted at the exit of the DORA. So if you are walking down Main Street and you approach 10th, you're going to see a trash can, you're going to see that sign there, and then you're going to know that, hey, this is the end of the DORA, you can't take your drink past there.
Same going the other way.
Same
too.
thing going the other way, correct.
So they can't say, like,
Right.
my second graders, oh, I didn't know.
Yes, no, that is.
The second graders,
They can.
if the second graders say that.
I'm sure some of you say that sometimes.
And then the other signage.
We have to have these around, so
Yes.
people don't use that as an
Don't
excuse.
use
Absolutely.
that as an
Yes.
excuse. And then the other signage that you see in the packet, that is, so the individual businesses within that block, for example, you know, you want to buy a drink and go get your hair cut, those individual businesses have the ability to determine if they want to participate in the DORA or not. So that other signage stickers that you had, for example, if you had a business that said, nope, this isn't for us, we don't want to allow people to bring in their carry-on drinks, they will have that signage that's there to make that known, and then the vice versa. If they're like, no, we want you to come and enjoy your drink while you're shopping, they'll have signage that indicates that the drinks are welcome there.
I think in addition to signage, we see a lot of towns that are incorporating a web page. There's actually the new thing now is a QR code on the signs themselves, so somebody can pop that QR code. The kids are all used to doing this type of stuff. I got to remember what that means sometimes, but it works really well. And of course, with this being new, I think education is an important part of the process. What you can do, what you can't do, but I think it's also part of the marketing. So that education being out there, like I said, my other job is engineering. This is the fun part, and we don't get many times we get to do this. But education and being able to provide that type of information, we think we're going to be particularly well suited to do, and work with everybody here and make sure that there's questions we can address those, and work as partners on this. So we're looking forward to what we can do with it.
Thank you.
You're not restricting traffic at all like a Mosey, right? This is all sidewalks.
Right, that's the tentative plan to begin with. Again, that's something that is on the table to look at down the road. If for whatever reason we believe that, no, closing the road might be appropriate, we can make those decisions down the road. But the intention right now is to not close the road.
There won't be any need for additional police presence, will there?
If it gets that crazy, we might have to hire our own if it starts really getting wild. No, I say that in jest, but I think like the Moseys, we do see more traffic down there, but I don't think we'll anticipate seeing Mosey level traffic down there. We just want more people to be able to go downtown and into that block. We will see how things go, but that's certainly not where we want it to go. And if that's the case, then we would be back in here with a solution to get it back to status quo. We're doing a great job right now. Like I said, I love going down there. I don't want to not love going down there. We started on this block in 2004 when T-Bird moved in. It's a different block today, and we have no intent to go backwards. So thank you for the question, though.
All right. Thanks, thank you. Any more comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the public?
Don't run off, I guess. Okay. Lloyd Wells, 3717 Rawlings Drive. This, I understood you can buy multiple drinks. All right. Is this true of alcoholic beverages?
Yeah, within limits.
Yes, Lloyd, the purpose of this is to allow the purchase of alcoholic beverages to be able to be taken outside of those restaurants and contained within the boundaries of that designated outdoor refreshment area.
And who polices who gets the beverage?
That would be the bartenders under their liquor licensing requirements, just like they have to do now to make sure they're not serving.
Just like they do now when somebody comes into the restaurant and orders a beer, they card them, or
Right.
unless they look as old as.
I can just see all kinds of potential, if they're not on premises, I can see all kinds of potential for abuse there.
Well, they gotta go inside to get it.
Mhm.
And that's the
But
purpose of having.
who monitors who they take it to?
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah,
That
so that's my problem.
That could be a problem anywhere at a Mosey or anything, or the Arts Federation or anything that we do. I think that's always a possibility, but if they get caught giving it to a minor, they'd be charged just like anybody else.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments or questions from the public? Yes, sir.
My name is David Thiem. I am the owner of Thiem Wagner Brewery downtown Lafayette. And I am here today because when I saw this, I was confused about the development of this area and just exactly where it would be now that you've confirmed that it is just one block. That concerns me. It seems like it's going to be very decisive amongst the downtown area. And that's one thing that I've grown proud of surviving COVID and the following years together as a downtown business. Tony, with giving the help additionally to downtown, it was very nice to be a cohesive downtown unit. And as of this morning, I knew of other bartenders or bar owners from multiple different bars that did not know that this wasn't going to encompass the whole riverfront development district. That was their understanding that it was for all of us and not just the 1,000 block of Main Street. And in addition, as a brewery, the state allows us to carry out in a similar way. And I believe the state allows this privilege to breweries because the product is made by yours truly. The ingredients that are in it, the man, his name is Caleb, and he works in Lebanon. And so when a batch of beer is brewed at my business, there are lots of hands all in our local community that provides. I don't think the same can be said for a cocktail made with a large brand alcohol that is potentially going out. So I know the state has allowed the carryout of liquor as part of their July amendment to certain laws coming out, but I just don't see enough of a benefit to substantiate the privilege.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, did you want to address that, or did you want me to address the thought that this is not, this is a test block of this program. This is a brand-new law that is there, so we are looking at it from testing out on this 10th and 11th block, but I know that through the discussions, we would love to see this, if it works out the way that it is anticipated and expected, to be expanded throughout the downtown. But given that this is a new ability for the city to do, we kind of wanted to focus it on a small area to see how it works, but with the understanding of, yes, we'd like to see this extend all the way down Main Street if it happens, if it works out. So.
I have a question on that.
Yeah, come back up to the mic, please. Thank you.
Do you have a rough estimate of a timeline if you wanted to add, say, the next additional block, how long that would take?
Looks like Mayor's
Yeah,
going to
we don't actually, I'm not gonna make something up. I mean, we don't right now, but, I mean, it would be reasonable, I think, like everything else we do for downtown. If it gets started, it goes pretty good, fairly quick. I think we'll be able to see fairly quickly how well it's unfolding. And we'd be happy to sit down with everybody after that and see what that natural progression is, to make it good for, the goal is to make all of Main Street as good as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And in the case of expansion, that will be brought back before this body,
Yes.
right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just say, I think my last thing on that is, I've kind of, that has eased some of my concerns, but I do think there's a lot of business owners that probably are a little confused, and I think maybe a meeting or some more explanation to these owners would be necessary, so.
Okay.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Ms. Chosnick, did you say that there was 7 districts we could have? Is that correct?
You can establish up to 7 separate and distinct districts. If we were to amend this existing district to just take it contiguously down Main Street, that would still just be considered one district.
Okay, that was going to be my question.
Yes.
Is there
Yes.
a
No, if we
definition on
wanted
the
to do
district?
like Upper Main Street, 10th through 11th, and then Lower Main Street, 3rd through 4th, those would be 2 distinct areas.
I
But if
see.
we just expand it so that it's contiguous, then that is still just part of the one area.
I think with 7, the ability for 7,
Yeah.
we'll have plenty of
Yeah.
flexibility to do what we need to do.
I just didn't know if the size of a specific district was limited.
No.
It doesn't sound like it is.
No, the size of a specific district is not limited.
Okay.
And a parklet is still an option for them too, right?
Parklets are still an option for restaurants. They've started popping up here in the last couple of weeks, our parklets that we've had around town.
All right, very good. Any more comments or questions from the council? I'm sorry, any more comments or questions from the public? We've already questioned everybody. Moving on, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call, please?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi. Aye. Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to ordinance 2024-29.
An ordinance of the City of Lafayette authorizing advance payment of certain expenditures.
Ms. Williamson.
I move we hear and approve ordinance 2024-29.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Downey.
All right, not quite as exciting as outdoor beverage refreshment areas, but very important nonetheless. This next ordinance is a result of our advocacy group AIM in the last legislative session proposed for legislation that would give municipalities some freedom and flexibility in terms of prepayment for goods or services. Currently under state law, up until this, we could not make any type of prepayment towards a purchase or anything like that. It had come up over the years sometimes as issues, for example, better pricing or better placement onto the build schedule, things like that, where sometimes the ability to make prepayments might be in the city's best interest. So the legislature did agree with that, and last legislative session authorized cities to be able to adopt a resolution or an ordinance that would authorize prepayments under certain circumstances. So this ordinance in front of you today does authorize, and this is up to the controller's determination on a case-by-case basis. So I don't want you to think we're just going to be doing this all the time. It's going to be saved for circumstances where there really is the best interest of the city to be able to pre-purchase. For public works projects, if we want to be able to pre-purchase or prepay for services, it has to be part of the bid package, and the advance payment cannot exceed the lesser of either 50% of the contract price or $2 million. It also provides us flexibility to prepay for goods and services. That, again, is limited to either the lesser of 50% of the contract price or $2 million. Again, this is still decisions that are going to have to be made by the controller's office on whether or not to authorize any type of prepayment, but there are circumstances having this flexibility in our pocket may be advantageous in the future.
All right, thank you for that explanation. Any comments or questions from the council? Comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Ordinance passes 8-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to resolutions. Resolutions 2024-17.
A resolution authorizing Greater Lafayette Public Transportation Corporation to expand a van pool program outside the boundaries of Tippecanoe County to Name County.
Mr. Clinker.
Move we hear Resolution 2024-17.
Second.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Brian Smith, CEO for City Bus. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. We have, in partnership with Purdue, gotten access to a grant from the Eli Lilly Foundation and the Purdue Office of Regional Development, and they would like to sponsor van pools between counties, the connecting counties to Tippecanoe. And part of the state law is to come before you first and ask for permission to operate outside of the county boundaries and be able to bring employees in from other counties and facilitate that mobility between the county lines, because if you're looking for a job, the county line is really just an imaginary thing. The Eli Lilly grant is planned to support van pools for up to 3 years. The idea being that it would help jumpstart that activity across the county borders. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Brian. Any comments or questions from the council?
How far out is out?
There you go.
Crawfordsville?
Any of the connecting counties that would agree, and another element of this is that the corresponding county, and that's why it's left blank in here, the corresponding county has to agree to let us operate a van pool anywhere within that county. Assuming they agree, it would be the entire county.
Is the fuel and everything total fare payers, or is it part of the grant, or the county, does that county government help, or?
So this is, the grant that from Eli Lilly will pay for a portion of the van pool. We are already paying for $600 a month of the van pool as part of our city van program. And then typically the fuel is split between the participants, so that's their skin in the game, so to speak.
Good.
All right, very good. Any more comments or questions from the council? Any comments or questions from the public? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, would you conduct a roll call?
Blinker.
Aye.
Nargi. Aye. Reynolds.
Aye.
Weiss.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Allersmeyer.
Aye.
Williamson.
Aye.
Downing.
Aye.
Resolution passes 8-0.
Thank you very much.
Brian.
Thanks, Brian. All right, moving on to reports of standing committees. We have any reports from standing committees? None? Zero? Reports of special committees. Reports by the mayor.
Well, get out your bikes.
I got a motor on mine. Yeah, ready.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have I've been asked to read a proclamation tonight for Bike Month and Bike to Work Today 2024. Whereas for more than a century, the bicycle has been an important part of the lives of most Americans. And whereas today millions of Americans engage in bicycling as an environmentally sound form of transportation, and an excellent way of gaining and maintaining fitness, and a means of promoting quality family recreation. Whereas the education of both cyclists and motorists as to the rights of cyclists to the public roadways and the responsibilities there assumed are important to ensure the safety of both cyclists and motorists. And whereas bicycle groups throughout our nation, state, and city are promoting greater public awareness of bicycle operation and safety education in an effort to reduce accidents, injuries, and fatalities. Whereas Greater Lafayette is a growing, thriving community with transportation and recreation demands. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Tony Rose Worski, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2024 as Greater Lafayette, Indiana Bike Month, and the day of May 17th, 2024 as Greater Lafayette, Indiana Bike to Work Day, and command their observance to all citizens in the Greater Lafayette area. So this is something that we do every year. We actually are working on this very diligently with our adding trails and bike lanes and trying to continue to move up that designation ladder. And we're making very good progress on this. So we are happy to do this, and we want to continue to provide those quality of life amenities when we talk about arts and entertainment and recreation and all of those things. These are all pieces of that very important puzzle that helps this community continue to grow and prosper with the work of this council, and we're going to continue to do things like this. I don't know if anybody's here, if Margie came tonight, I don't. Oh, she's there. Or Miles, I don't know if anybody, if either one of you want to speak or say anything. Okay, Miles. Okay. You might tell them about the progress on designation and stuff.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor.
You do best when you get surprised, too.
Exactly, yeah. Miles Holtzclaw, I'm in the Department of Economic Development, and I also sit on the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, along with everything the mayor said there. Nationally, we're seeing a higher rate of motor and bicycle conflict. Luckily, here in Lafayette, that number isn't true. I think that's in part to the mayor's effort, the county's effort, our department's effort, and everybody to, build and expand the existing network of bicycle infrastructure. And then May is a perfect time to celebrate Bike Month because it's getting nicer, you're getting more people out there. It's a good time to make people aware that, when it was colder, you could take over that bike lane a little bit more, like maybe on 9th Street, but now that it's warmer, we should be looking out, so that's all I have.
Thanks. How are we doing on our designation? You're working on that, correct?
Yeah, so we, the city of Lafayette as a business received the silver designation for the bicycle-friendly business this year from the League of American Bicyclists, which was very exciting. West Lafayette is only bronze. And then in the past we received a honorable mention for the bicycle-friendly city. I don't believe that we'll get a designation this year, but I think with the 3rd and 4th Street conversion, with 9th Street, with the expansion of the 52 trail, that the Sagamore Parkway Trail, that next year we'll be able to become a bicycle-friendly city. So I'm very excited about that as well.
Very nice. Thank you for your comments and your work.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to miscellaneous and new business. Is there any miscellaneous or new business? Seeing none, reports of council, men and women. Seeing none of that, public comment. Any public comment? Seeing none? Mr. Blinker?
Move for adjournment.
Mrs. Nargi?
Second?
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Meeting adjourned. Yes, no, you say that. Say what? You doing?
What'd you say?